Okay, we're picking up from the last video, which was the first video in the intro astrology videos that I'm making. That last video was We Are Light, and it demonstrated and shown how the science of light works, and the primary colors and how those colors and the hues of light that come through the ozone from the different angles of the sun create different characteristics and different personalities. And we also talked about the sine wave. That's this wave right here. And that wave is really important because that's the wave that everything is made out of. So I will make the wheel right now, which is this video's subject, the wheel. So we start before, like, with this point of consciousness, and the sphere that we're talking about is right there. So that would be like 0 is the field, and 1 is the consciousness mark there. Now, as in all things, it divides into half, and we'll show the sine wave like that. And you have 2. And you can see here how it's yin and yang, positive, negative, up, down, day, night, male, female. And now we'll see when you divide this 2, it's going to divide into 4. And I'll do that by making these waves here. And here's the other half of that wave. And then here's another one coming up. You see that all of nature works this way. It shoots out in even amounts, spiraling, coming upward, and in balance. So you always get this movement, left to right, up and down, and spiraling. So let's do the rest of these petals here. Get our wheel going so we can talk about the wheel. And what I should have did was these 2 parts right here, which I'll do. But here we are. It goes up, curves, comes back, curves back around, goes up to the next perimeter. Notice it's always going to the edges and creating the matrix. And then we have here this flower, this 12 petals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 petals. And if you take these 12 petals and make our little our points, draw lines with all the points, you'll get, here's again the circle divided, day and night, night and day, yin and yang, and then we'll cut it, the 2 into 4, honoring that number 2 again. The number 2 is things in the organic world, and in astrology, this 2 is everywhere. Things divide and multiply by 2, and that's how this organic field creates itself, always in balance. And then so you have these quadrants now. You have 4 quadrants here, and if you were, what I'll do here too is you'll also show, like we did in the other video, the 3 different energies: the cardinal energy, the fixed energy, and the mutable energy. So like that wave that I showed you here, this little wave, it starts off and then it rises to its peak, and then it comes back to a 0 point. And this will be the 0 point here. And we will draw the lines here now to make the different points. So we have the cardinal point, and then we have the fixed, and then that's the mutable. Then we have the cardinal slice, and then the fixed, and then that's the mutable. Then we have the cardinal slice again, that's the fixed, and that's the mutable. And this cardinal slice, and this is the fixed slice, and this is the mutable. Coming back into the first one again. So, if you were, and we'll put you, we blow it up big here. Let's say, here you are standing in Earth, and you are standing right here. In this horizon plane there. This would be, let me get another color here. If you were standing and looking at the world like this would be on this side. If you looked this way here, this would be the east. This would be the west. This would be the north. And this would be the south. And you would, it would be, let's get that the right size. And you'd stand and you look, and the sun would rise on the east, and then at 12 noon it would be up top here. Then, as you got to 6 p.m., it would come over down the horizon in the west, and then it would move down underneath the horizon, under the bottom side of the earth, and come down around 12 hours. Here would be 12 a.m., and then it would come up back in the morning at here, back in the east. So that's, if you look at an astrology chart, that's basically, if you were standing in the middle there, that's how you'd look at an astrology chart. So let's draw those time frames in there, so you can see at those different times, you'll see that each one of these petals has a different combination of lights in it, blends of red, blue, yellow, and green, and that makes that characteristic of that time. Okay, so we have here, this would be 6 a.m., and here would be 12 p.m., and then here we'd have 6 p.m., and then here we have 12 a.m. when you're fully unconscious and in your dream state. Again, the inner world, not the outer world. Being the opposite, you would work and do all your activities during these hours here, and these hours here, you're in the world of the mind, in the metaphysical world, or your inner world, things that make you up in this section. And in a birth chart, this would be the first house here, second, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, 7th house, 8th house, 9th house, 10th house, 11th house, and 12th house. These houses here would be the houses, these first 4 houses here would be the houses that make you up. And then these houses here would be the houses of your community and your group. And then these last 4 houses, this one, this one, this one, this one, is your spiritual life, your bigger, your spirit body, your bigger self. Not necessarily anything to do with you as an ego, or you in your community, in your life. So if we break this up, so this is like the hours of the day here, and the night, and then this would be, if this was looking at the year, and let's say this was the sun here, And if that was the sun and the earth was moving around, you know, the sun like this, you notice, like before in the last video, I believe we went over the tip of the planet of Earth, the North-South Pole, are on a 23-degree tip, so it's tilted, so that when you go as the Earth moves around through the year, instead of the sun going hitting the equator as the Earth is turning and moving around the planet, moving around the sun, the Earth, the sun's path on the horizon goes above and then below the horizon and then back above, making this wave again. So if this was the horizon line, you'd see the sun, you know, at, well, here let me just put the seasons there, and then you can see this better. So over here, if this is the east, but let's say this is the sun, here's the Earth's orbit. This would be spring. This would be summer. This would be fall. And this would be winter. So on this yearly orbit, the 12 months, if you will, because you have 12 slices here, 12 slices, 12 months, the sun moves around and goes through spring, and then it hits summer in this part, and this part it hits fall, and this part it hits winter. And, you know, if you were looking at on the monthly titles, you would see that this would be, this here would be March, '21, 21st. This over here would be June 21st, this point, and then this point here would be September 21st, and this down here would be December. '21st. So you can judge it there by the months of the year you'd be moving around in this cycle. March 21st would be here, and then this Earth is moving around, and it's moving like this way on this line here. So here it's March 21st, but as it gets to the high point of the wave, you're going to have the longest day of the year on June 21st. And then the days get shorter, and the sun starts coming down this wave here. It goes through summer and comes into the fall, and then it comes around in the fall into December 21st, which is the shortest day of the year, and then the days start getting longer again and get back to the equal point of spring. And that's it for the wheel on this video. Next video we're going to go into the characteristics of these different parts. Stay tuned.